Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will start a lecture on cost estimations. So already various concepts related with the estimations or cost estimation plays an again an important role related with the various nowadays cost estimation plays an important role while calculating the cost of any structures or while finding out the quantity of various materials required in a constructions. Okay. So while calculating various materials required in a constructions, so what should be the quantity of materials required and what should be the cost required? Because cost plays an important role. Finance plays an important role. Without finance, we cannot construct a building. We cannot construct a structures. Therefore, finance plays an important role. Therefore, in order to execute a structures, in order to construct a structures, first we have to calculate the amount required. First we have to calculate the various amount required in a construction of a project. Okay. The cost estimation plays an important role. Without cost estimations or without finding out the quantities of the various items of works, or without finding out the rates of the various items of works, we cannot proceed for the construction of the building. Okay. So this cost estimation plays an important role in construction of residential buildings, also in construction of the commercial buildings, also in construction of roads and highways also. So cost estimation plays an important role. So in today's lectures, we will see about the various concepts related with the cost estimations. We will also find out we will also have the different methods related with the cost estimations, and what are the importance, what are the factors affecting cost estimations, and what are the different methods with the help of which we can find out or we can estimate the cost of any structures. Okay. So in today's lectures, we will have a concept on the cost estimations. So again, estimating is the technique of calculating or computing the various quantities. As I have already said, it is nothing but a technique in order to calculate the various quantities. First, in this case, first we have to find out the quantities. Suppose we can take an example of RCC structures. So first we have to find out the quantity of for construction or for RCC. There may be the materials required will be cement, sand, and aggregates. So therefore, we will require first, we have to find out the quantities required for RCC work. Suppose we are casting a slab, so how much quantity of cement will be required, how much quantity of sand will be required, and how much quantity of coarse aggregate will be required. The first important thing is the quantities. First, we have to find out the quantities. Okay? The estimating is the technique of calculating or computing the various quantities and the expected expenditures. Then we will correlates with the or when then we will find out the market rates. Then we will have the market rates of the different quantities which we have calculated. Okay. The expenditures to be incurred on a particular work or a project. Okay. So then we will find out the rates, and then we will multiply it with the quantities in order to find out the total cost of the structures. Okay. In order to find out the total cost of the structures. Okay. So first we are finding out the quantities, and then it is depending upon the market rates, depending upon the cost of the different items of works, or the cost of the different materials required in the construction, we will find out the total cost. Okay. So also in case the funds available are less, then the estimated cost of the work is done in parts or by reducing its specifications. Okay. We can reduce the specifications because the cost required for this case is there may be the cost required is less. Therefore we can reduce the specifications, we can compromise with the specifications also in a in order to reduce the cost, in order to reduce the cost of the structures. Okay. These are the following requirements are there while estimating or while finding out the cost estimations, while finding out the cost of structures, which things will be required. Okay. So these are the most important things which are required for finding out the cost of the structures. Okay. The following requirements are necessary for preparing an estimate. First is depending upon drawings. That means drawing in the sense depending upon plan and elevations and section of important points. Okay. So depending upon the plan and depending upon elevations and depending upon the section of important points, we can find out the quantities required for execution of the structures. Okay. In order to construct a building, we are first depending upon the drawings, we will find out the various materials required. Okay, so in drawings we will depending upon the plan, elevations and section of important points, plan plays an important role. Okay, again next point related with the requirement for the estimations or finding out the cost of any structures. What is the next thing required? Number two is nothing but specifications. Okay, to detailed specifications about workmanships and properties of the materials, etc. Okay, so we have to have an idea of the specifications. Specifications is a brief. Specification is nothing but the brief or specific description of the various items of works. Specific descriptions, specific description of the materials used, or specific description of the work which is to be executed. Okay, so detailed specifications about workmanships and properties of the material, chemical properties of the material or physical properties of the material, or the various reactions or various tests to be made on the materials, the properties of the materials. Again most important is third point is nothing but the schedule of rates. Again I've already said, so we require market rates. Schedule of rates are the current rates, current market rates. Depending upon the current market rates we can have the or we can find out the cost of n structures. Okay, so standard schedule of rates of the current year. Okay, current market rates are also very important. Next, what is the need for estimation and costing? Why it is to be calculated? What are the needs for estimating and costing? Firstly, we will see the points related with this, because main thing we will calculate actually the cost of structures. Okay, so these are only the points. So we will firstly overview with these points. So what are the needs for the estimations and costing? So estimate gives an idea of the cost of the work, as I've already said, whether it is feasible to construct, feasibility, whether while calculating the cost of the structures, whether it is feasible to construct a building, or whether it is feasible to have apply materials in the construction of buildings. So feasibility test can be done with the help of this cost. Number two point is nothing but time required. After calculating the amount of the materials required, after calculating the cost required, then we will compare, or then we will find out the time required. So time also plays an important role. Depending upon the various activities, the time will be consumed in execute and structures. Okay, so time plays an important role. So estimate gives an idea of the time required for completion of the work, whether it is to be completed in a week or 2 weeks, or whether the depending upon the materials required, depending upon the activities, depending upon the materials required, we can have an idea of the time required. Okay, so time plays an important role. Again, it is used in order to find out the time required. Again, estimate is required to invite the tenders. Again, estimation plays an important role in tendering. Okay, tendering is nothing but there is a process in which legal process in which we can execute a work by an outside body, or by another body which is expert in doing a work. Okay, so we can execute the work with another body, or another contractors, or another agency who is expert in doing the work. Okay, so this tendering plays an important role. The estimate is required to invite the tenders and quotations, and to arrange contracts. Okay. Again, fourth important point is estimate is also required to control the expenditures during the executions of work. Okay, so we can control the expenditures, because depending upon the cost incurred, or depending upon the cost required, we can reduce the expenditures. We can have a control on expenditures. Okay, so proper management skills will be required in estimations. Also, we can have a proper management in order to execute, or in order to execute the structures within our limits, within our cost limit. Okay, so estimation is also required to control the expenditure during the execution of work. Also, estimate decides whether the proposed plan matches the funds available or not. Okay, so whether they matches the funds available or not, whether we are having a sufficient funds or not with us. So therefore this plays an important role. Again, what is the purpose of estimations? Here estimation plays an important role for administrative approval. We will see in next slides what is administrative approval. So it is what is the purpose of estimating? It is used for administrative approvals, for allotments of funds and technical sanctioning, and for the quantity of materials required. It is used for the quantity of materials required how much quantity of materials will be required, how much tools and plants will be required, equipments will be required in executed structures, and also it is used to fix up the completion period. In order to fix the completion period, estimation or estimating or plays an important role. Okay? In order to find out the tools and plants, in order to fix the completion period, in order to invite the tenders and preparation of the bills for the payments. Okay? So in this way, this estimation plays an important role. These are the important points related with the estimations. Okay? What are the units of measurement? Again, units of measurement while calculating or while finding out the cost of any structures, the units of measurement plays an important role. Okay? How much these are inserted, it is to be measured in, whether it is to be measured in running meters, whether it is to be measured in square meters, or whether it is to be measured in cubic meters. Okay? So these calculations plays an important role. So single unit work like doors, windows, or trusses, they are expressed in numbers. Doors are always doors or windows or trusses, based in the trusses. They may be taken care in numbers, whereas when there is a fencing is there, or a handrail is there, or bands of a specific width is there, in this case it has been measured in running meters. It is to be taken in running meters. Again, some quantities work such as measurement like plastering or whitewashing or partitions of specified thickness, etc., are expressed in square meters. In some quantities, they are measured in meters, running meters, or some measured in numbers, or some measured in the meter square. Also, some of the quantities it has been measured in cubic meters also. Okay. The works consist cubical contents, which involves volumes such as earthwork in excavations or RCC or masonry or concrete works, and these are measured in the cubic meters, because while calculating or while finding out the cost of any structures, its units plays an important role, whether it is to be measured in running meters, or it is to be measured in square meters, or it is to be measured in the cubic meters, because depending upon these units we have to find out the cost. Okay? Because this cost depends upon whether we are finding out the cost in meter cube, particular item of work in meter cube, or the cost to be calculated in meter square of the particular quantity, or the cost it is to be made in the running meters. Okay? So these units plays an important role. Again, as per IS 1200, these are the provisions given as per IS 1200 that has been revised. So what are the units of measurement? Actually, these are the modes of measurements or units of measurement. Depending upon this, we have to measure the different items of works depending upon this units of measurements. Okay? So this earthwork, it has been measured in cubic meters. Concrete, again, it is to be measured in cubic meters. Whatever the units of payments, it is to be per percentage or cubic meters, it is to be paid. Okay? Concrete, again, it is to be measured in cubic meters. DPC, that is dam proof course, it is to be measured in square meters. Whereas brickworks, it is to be measured in cubic meters. Again, stone work, it is to be measured in cubic meters. Woodwork, cubic meters. Steel, when we are finding out the quantity of steel in any structures, it is to be measured in quintals. Again, next point is roofings. If we are having a concrete in roofing or roofing work, it is to be done, then it is to be measured in cubic meters. Plastering points, and finishing some repair works in plastering or pointing works, it is to be carried out in plastering, so it is to be again measured in square meters. Okay? So flooring, again, the thickness of flooring, it is very less, it is to be measured in square meters. Whereas rainwater pipe or plain pipe, it is to be measured in running meters, per running meters. When we are providing for drainage purpose, these water pipelines, it is to be laid, it is to be measured in running meters. Steel wood trusses, it is to be measured in numbers. Whereas glass panel, it is to be measured in square meters. Fixing of glass panel or cleaning, it is measured in numbers. Okay? Again, the rules for measurement, again, IS 1200, it has stated some rules, because we are calculating the cost of any structures, so therefore we have to follow these rules. While we are following these rules, the cost of any structures will be accurate, or it is to be precisely measured. What are the rules to be taken care in while measurement? Okay? The rules for measurement for each items are invariably described in IS 1200. all works should be measured subject to the following tolerance. What are the tolerance? Up to the what precise way in up to what extent we have to measure the various items of works. Okay, so linear measurements. If it is measured in length, so if it is having a linear measurements, so if it is measured in length, so linear measurements shall be measured to be the nearest of 0.01 meters. That means the accuracy to be measured in measuring a length in a linear measurement, we have to measure up to an extent of 0.01. That means the accuracy up to 0.01. It is to be maintained while measuring a linear measurement, while measuring measurements which are measured in running meters. Example is in running meters. Okay. Again, if it is measured in square meters, that is example is for plastering. It is for flooring. So it is to be measured in 0.01, that is square meters. Okay. The area should be measured to the nearest of 0.01 square meters. Whereas when we are measuring a cubic content such as volume, in case of volume, in case of concreting, in case of stone masonries, or in case of earthwork in excavations, it is to be measured in 0.01 cubic meters. Okay. Again, as I already discussed in previous slides, the purpose of estimations. Again, related with this, we have seen administrative approval. What is administrative approval? First, we have to have approval from the administrative body. Okay? From government authorities, from government body, we have to approve the structures. We have to approve our plans. We have to approve our. We have to sanction the plans. We have to take the sanctioning from this part. So therefore, formal acceptance related to the requirements of a department with respect to cost. With respect to cost, it plays an important role. With respect to cost, we have to find out the formal acceptance related to the requirements of a department with respect to the cost and work from the competent authority. There are some government authorities are there. With that government authorities, we have to approve the our plans. Okay, the formal acceptance related to the requirements of a department with respect to the cost and work from the competent authority of concerned department to execute the work. Okay. Again, approximate estimates are submitted to obtain administrative approval to execute work within the sanctioned amount, because we are fixing the amount, so we have to complete the work within the sanctioned amount. So in order to complete the work within the sanctioned amount, this administrative it is very important, because we have to execute the structures within the limits. Within the limits. Okay. Again, what is technical sanctioning? As the word suggests, technical word, it is related with the depending upon the drawings, technical word. Okay. So after obtaining administrative approval, while with the help of approximate estimates, we are sanctioning, we are having administrative approvals. Again, next step is nothing but technical sanctioning. Okay? After obtaining administrative approval to a work, it is necessary to prepare detailed drawing and estimate of a proposed work, which is to be submitted to the appropriate authorities of public work departments. Okay? So in PWD departments, we have to submit the detailed drawings, okay, on the estimate of the detailed drawings. Okay. So again, technical sanctioning plays an important role. So how much amount should not exceed, which we have already calculated. So only 10%, there is a factor of safety of 10%. Okay. If the estimated amount of the work exceeds 10% of the amount, that is administrative approval, technical sanction can be granted after obtaining administrative approval for the work. That means the limit for this is nothing but 10%. Beyond this, if there is if the already we have taken the approval, and there is small change up to 10%, then technical sanctioning can be taken care. Okay. If it is beyond this, then we have to revise the estimate. We have to revise the calculations, or we have to revise the cost of to calculate the cost of the structures. Okay. Again, and there these are the cost estimations, or these are the direct methods in order to have the preliminary estimates or approximate estimate is nothing but the direct way in order to calculate, or the shortest way or the fastest way in order to calculate the cost of any structure. Because we are calculating the cost of any structure, So this is nothing but a faster way in order to calculate the structures. Okay? But it is a rough estimate. It is a rough estimate prepared to know the approximate cost of work in short times. Okay? When the permissible time it is not available at the time, in a shorter time we can calculate the total cost of structures with the help of by using this preliminary or approximate estimates. Okay? The approximate estimate is prepared from the practical knowledge and cost of similar works. Depending upon the similar works, or depending upon the previous works, or depending upon the knowledge of the market knowledge, we can calculate the cost of any structures. Okay? The various factors of comparison may be in cubic contents, or per capita, or per kilometers, or service unit, etc. So depending upon this we can calculate the cost of any structures. Depending upon this we can calculate the cost. Again, what is the purpose of approximate estimate in faster way? We will see. We have to have a feasibility of project, whether this our project it is, whether it is feasible to have a construction or execute this structure. So with the help of this approximate estimate, we can have an idea of the feasibility of a project. Okay? What will be the durations of the project? We can have an idea of the durations. Again, for the administrative approval, this approximate plays an important role. Administrative approval for tax fixations, for municipal corporation taxes, for insurances also, or also planning, because planning plays an important role. Without planning, without proper planning, we cannot execute the structures. Okay? For proper planning, this cost estimation plays an important role. And for investment, if someone is interested in investing an amount for making profit from the construction of work, so this approximate estimate plays an important role. For the types of approximate estimates, Plinth area methods, cubic content methods, service unit method, and approximate quantity methods, and typical billing methods. So these are the important methods that we will study in this type. That is Plinth area methods, cubic content methods, service unit methods, approximate quantity methods, and lastly as the typical B methods. Well, what is plinth area method? As the name suggests, plinth area. That means where we are providing a plinth beam, or the level plinth at the plinth level. What is the area covered? The area covered at the plinth level, we are finding out by considering the area covered at the plinth level. Okay. So plinth area methods, external dimensions of the building at the floor level. That is at the plinth level. We have to first we will find out the external dimensions at the floor level. Depending upon the dimensions we will calculate. Okay, so again, courtyard and other open areas, it is not to be considered here. Courtyards or open yards or open spaces to be not considered in this plinth area methods, because we are taking care in the dimensions action. We have to exclude the courtyards and other open spaces. Okay. Also, for multi-storied building, plinth area for each story is determined separately, because multi-storied, every plinth area will be it is to be calculated separately, because in case of multi-storied there may be changes depending upon the stories. Okay. Again, fourth point is nothing but plinth area rate is known from the cost of similar buildings in a locality. Okay. Again, there should be a strong knowledge in order to because we are in this method we are using the approximate preliminary estimate. Okay. Again, next is nothing but cubic content methods. In some cases, we can calculate in meter cube. In meter cube, we have to calculate. So, in some cases, we have to have in cubic content method also. Cubic content method also plays an important role in calculating this cubic content methods. So, cubic content methods determined by multiplying length or width and height. So by multiplying length, width, and height, we can calculate the amount required for the constructions, the amount required for constructing a building. Okay? So depending upon LBH, that is length into width into height, we can easily calculate the structures. Easily calculate the amount required for construction of a building, the amount required for constructing a building. Okay? So LBH, length into width into height. By considering find out the cost. Okay. Again, there is cube rate estimate is more accurate as compared to the plinth area method. Again, service unit method is again an approximate estimate. That is faster way we can find out this service unit method also. Though service unit method is again important methods. Depending upon the types of structures, suppose we are having a school buildings, so service by using service unit method, depending upon the per classroom, we can find out the cost of the structures. In case of hospital buildings, depending upon the bed per bed, again stadium for theaters per seat, water tank per liters, office per room, and bridges per meter of span. So these are the service unit we will calculate depending upon the service provided. Okay, service unit. Again, next is nothing but the approximate quantity methods. That is second last is nothing but by finding out the approximate quantities, how much quantities will be required, how much quantities. So we will divide the structures into two parts. So first, up to the plinth we will have substructures, and above plinth we will have superstructures. Okay, so foundations including plinth, that is substructures, and next we will have the superstructure. Substructures and superstructures with we can find out with the help of the approximate. First, we have to find out the approximate quantities. For the approximate, we have to find out the total length of walls is to be carried out, and to find out the running meters, how much should be the foundations in running meters. Also, we have to find out the superstructures, that is the approximate cost of the superstructures. Depending on, we have to find out the quantities of brickworks, roofs, floorings, etc. The different quantities which is to be calculated. We have in running meters. We have to find out. Again, next is nothing but the typical B methods. What is B? B is nothing but center to center distance between the supports. A simple way, the horizontal distance between the two supports. The distance between the two supports is nothing but a B. So B is center to center distance between the supports when the area of a structures consists of a similar parts such as a warehouse, railway platforms, or factory sheds. At that time, we can use this typical B methods. Okay. So approximate cost is how we can find out the approximate cost by number of bays into cost of one bay. Number of bays, if suppose example is number of bays are 10, and what is the cost of one bay? Suppose it is 10 lakhs, so 10 multiplied by 15, we can 1 crores 50 lakhs. We can easily find out the with help of the approximate cost with help of this typical bay method. So in this way, in this way, we have calculated, or we have seen in a short, we have seen the different methods which we can use preliminary in case of preliminary estimates, or in case of approximate estimates, the different methods which can be used in order to calculate the cost of any structures. Okay? The cost of any structures can be calculated with the help of these methods. Okay? So again, we will have some more methods related with this. Yes. So next method, next important is nothing but estimations. Again, next is important is the types of the detailed estimate. Okay. Again, related with this is nothing but the types of the detailed estimate. Okay. So detailed estimate also plays an important role. What are the different in previous slides we have seen preliminary estimate, that is approximate estimate, but here we are studying the detailed estimate. Okay. So in detailed way, we have to find out the total cost in detailed way. Okay, the types of detailed estimate is revised estimate, or supplementary estimate, or revised and supplementary estimate, or repair and maintenance estimate. Okay. So these are the detailed various types of the detailed estimate: revised, supplementary, revised and supplementary, on repair and maintenance estimate. Okay. Again, depending upon this, what are the detailed or item rate estimate? Detailed or item rate estimate is nothing but this estimate is an accurate and is based on plan and sanctions of the building. Okay. Plan and sanctions, depending upon the plan and sanctions, we can find out the every item of works. Okay. How much quantity of works we have to find out. Again, the next point is nothing but the quantity of items under each subhead of work are calculated from the dimensions which are given in drawings, because in drawings every part or every dimensions is given depending upon that every we have to find out the item, each and every items, the quantity of each and every items to be calculated depending upon the dimensions. Again, after finding out the quantities, we have to find out the rates and its cost also. Again, it is to be represented in the separate sheet. Okay, it is to be represented in a separate sheet. Okay, so a spreadsheet to be made depending upon the quantities required, and it is to be multiplied with the market rates. It is to be multiplied with the market rates. Okay. Again, a detailed estimate is accompanied by a report is to be made. Specifications are very important in case of detailed estimate. Detailed drawing it is to be taken care, showing plans, design data, and calculations, and also its rates plays an important role. Basic rates plays an important role. For the different types of the detailed estimate, that is nothing but the revised estimate is there. First one is nothing but the revised estimate. As I've already said, only 10% limit is there. If it exceeds 10%, then we have to have some revised estimation is to be done. Within 10%, it is to be it is taken care. Okay? So here it should not exceed 10%. Okay? So it is prepared afresh when originally sanctioned detailed estimate exceeds 10%. If it exceeds 10%, then we have to have a revised estimate. Okay? And it is prepared on the basis on estimate on which sanctions are obtained, showing the existing sanction and the progress made up to date. Also, the revised estimate should be it should be accompanied by a comparative statement showing the original and revised rate and quantities. Again, what is supplementary estimate? Again, some unforeseen expenses are or some additional work is to be done. Okay? In case of when some additional work is to be carried out, at that time we have to have some in ongoing work, some additional work it is to be carried out. Okay? So such work it is to be mentioned in separate sheet and it is to be taken care in the supplementary estimate. Okay? So some unforeseen expenses to be taken care in this supplementary estimate. Okay? The method of preparing of supplementary estimate is the same as that of the detailed estimate, and it should be accompanied by full report of the circumstances when rendered it necessary. Okay? Again, revised and supplementary estimate is nothing but it is just the combinations of revised and supplementary, that in some cases we have to revise or when the cost exceeds more than 10%, and also some additional work is to be carried out. At that time it is to be clubbed into two, as one as the revised and supplementary estimate. That means a revision is it is to be done in the cost. Also, some extra work it is to be carried out. Some extra work it is to be carried out. At that time, this revised and supplementary estimate plays an important role. Okay? Again, repair and maintenance estimate in case of roads, in case of bridges, or in case of flyovers, there may be this repair and maintenance estimation plays an important role. Okay? So repair and maintenance estimate, in order to keep the structures, roads in proper conditions, annual repairs to be carried out annually. Okay? So how much cost it is to be taken care. The estimated amount should not be more than 1.5% of the capital cost of the work. Okay? Maintenance work, how much cost will be taken care in this maintenance work? Only 1.5% of the total cost. Okay? Total cost, capital cost, it should not exceed 1.5% of the total cost. Okay? Again, it is to be taken care in a separate sheet. Okay? Again, what are the different methods for taking out of quantities? Yeah, here these are the most important methods. Okay, the most important methods in order to take out the quantities for various items. Okay, so these are the methods for taking out of quantities. The quantities like earthworks or foundations or concrete or brickworks in a plinth and superstructures, etc., can be worked out by any of the two methods. That means any work which we are finding out its quantities. Okay, we are finding out its quantities. So these two methods plays an important role. That is the long wall shortfall methods and center line methods. So long wall shortfall methods and center line methods, with all of these two methods we can find out the quantity of the various items of work. We can find out easily the total quantity of various item of works with all of these two methods. So long wall shortfall methods. What is long wall shortfall methods? The whole structures is it is to be divided in long wall and short walls. Okay, the long wall itself, its name suggests that its name gives that the length which is larger will be considered as long wall, and the length which is shorter will be considered as short walls. We will see the numericals also. We will solve in short the numericals also depending upon long wall shortfall methods. Center line methods. Okay. So here there is a small figure in which this figure is explains the method of long wall shortfall methods. Okay. So here there is a room. The room size it has been given, inner to inner size also given. and how to find out what is the formula for long wall short wall methods. Here we are discussing about the formula for long wall short wall methods. Okay, so here first we have to find out the center to center length of long wall, and here we have considered a horizontal as long wall and vertical widthwise as the vertical as the along y direction as the short wall. So first we have to find out the center to center distance. First we have to find out the center to center distance, and then we are this is nothing but length of long wall. Okay, first we have to find out the center to center distance of the long wall. Then we have to find out the center to center distance of the short wall. So what this as L is equals to, L stands for the length of long wall, the center to center length of the long wall, plus width of plus half the width of sections. Here we have considered the half the width of sections because we are considering the center to center distance. So here we are considering half the width of sections. Okay, the left side half width and right side half width. That means plus b by 2 and plus b by 2. That means the formula for comes to be L is equals to that is center to center distance plus b by 2 plus b by 2. In this way, in y directions also already we have calculated, we have covered this hash portions. That means this part we have already covered, this extra part we have already covered. That means this part is, it is to be deducted from the short wall. Okay, so S is equals to center to center length of the short wall minus b by 2. In this case, why we are subtracting this? Because we have already considered in long wall. Okay, this half, so minus b by 2 and minus b by 2. That means S is equals to short wall is nothing but center to center distance minus b by 2 and b by 2. So in this way, what in short, what is length of long wall? Center to center length of long wall plus width of section, and short wall is nothing but center to center distance of short wall minus width of sections. So in this way we can find out with the help of long wall and short wall methods. Here there is a small room. I have given an example. I have taken an example for this room, in which the room dimensions is 2 meters by 1 meters, horizontal distance is 2 meters, and along distances is 1 meters. What about the width of these sections? Width in this case is nothing but 0.2. 0.2 is the width of this wall in this case. That means first we have to find out the center to center distance. So here inner to inner dimensions is 2 meters. So what will be the center to center distance for along longer directions? So 2 plus that is half the distance for this. So here 2 plus 0.1 at left side and 0.1 at right side. That means L is equals to 2 plus 0.1 plus 0.1. That means it comes to be 0.2. 0.2. That is 2.2. What about short directions? We have to deduct the width of sections. So S is equals to center to center length of short wall minus width. Width of section here is nothing but again 0.2. So 1 minus 0.2, it comes to be 0.8. That means length of long wall we have considered as 2.2, and length of short wall we have taken as 0.6 meters in order to calculate the total quantities. Okay? We'll see, we will solve the problems of long wall and short wall methods also. Okay, what is center line methods? In center line method, first we have to find out the total center to center length of a complete figure. So center to center length of the complete figures minus half the number of joints. So we have to consider the number of joints also. Here in this case, we have to consider the number of joints also. So center to center length, total center to center length, we have to find out. Here in this case, we have to find out the total center to center distance. Okay. So total center to center length minus half 1 by 2 into number of joints, number of T junctions. Okay. The number of T junctions. Actually, it is nothing but the number of T junctions. Okay. Number of T junctions. So number of T junctions into width of sections. So into width of sections, this is nothing but the formula for center line methods. Okay. So minus total center to center distance minus half into number of T junctions into width of sections. So in this way, we can find out with the help of center line methods. Again, after finding out the quantities, we have to feed the quantities in a proper format. What is the sheet available for this is nothing but this details of measurements and calculations of quantities. It is to be entered in this sheet, serial number, descriptions, numbers, length, width and height, and quantity. And if there is in any explanation regarding this, or if there is any deductions regarding this, so it is to be taken care in this explanation notes. Okay. So length, width, and height, the total quantity, and depending upon and notes plays an important. Okay. What is abstract of an estimated cost? So abstract is nothing but a table in which various calculations to be done. Okay. Abstract is nothing but we are finding out the rate of the particular quantities. Okay. So the cost of each work is worried out from the quantities and already computed in detailed measurement form at a workable rates. Okay, we have to execute at a workable rates. We have to decide the rates, and it is to be entered in a proper format, and abstract sheet is to be made. Okay? But the total cost is worked out in a prescribed form is known as an abstract. Okay? In a prescribed way, we are entering the quantities, and we are also entering we are having the rates also. Okay? So in a proper format, we are providing the cost quantities as well as the rates. Okay? The next is nothing but 4% of estimated cost is allowed for PT supervisions and contingencies and unforeseen expenses. That means 4% of from this abstract sheet it is to be taken care for unforeseen expenses. What is unforeseen expenses? Which while executing and while constructing building, some things some unforeseen expenses to be taken care. Okay. Next is nothing but the abstract of estimated cost. Here, serial numbers, what things to be taken care in abstract sheet. Now, first description is whether there is excavations or PCC or plinth work, casting of RCC and plinth beams. So, description plays an important role. Okay? Quantities are there again in meter cube or in square meters. The quantities to be taken care. Units, whether it is in meter cube or meter cube or running meters. Meter square, its rate, and per unit what is the its rate and its amount. Okay, so these are the abstract sheet for this case. Abstract sheet plays also it is very important in order to calculate the okay. So depending upon this abstract sheet we will find out the rate or we will calculate the rates. Okay? In faster in today's lecture we will fastly we are having the various concepts regarding the cost estimations. We have covered the various concepts regarding the cost estimation in a faster way. Okay? So next is nothing but we are finding out the rates. Okay? Next is important is rates calculations of rates. Okay? So here we are finding out the rate analysis. Okay? So rate analysis again is it is an important concept related with this rate analysis. We are entering the amounts in a proper abstract sheet. Okay? So this rate analysis process is very important. So what is rate analysis? So rate analysis, the determinations of rate per unit of a particular item of work. Okay? So rate per unit of an item of work, the determination of rate per unit of a particular item of work from the cost of quantities of materials, the cost of labors and other miscellaneous works, we can find out the total cost. Okay? Depending upon the materials, depending upon the quantities, depending upon the quantities of the materials required, depending upon the cost of labors required, depending upon the various tools and plants required, we can find out we can analyze the structures, analysis of rates, analyze the cost of any structures. Okay? The rates of materials and labors vary from place to place, and hence the rates of different items of works also varies from place to place. Okay? So material rates will be varying, labor rates will be varying depending upon various cities. It will be varied. Okay? It will be dependent on the availability. Next is nothing but the purpose of rate analysis. The purpose of rate analysis is also important. The purpose of rate analysis to work out the actual cost of per unit of an item. Per unit of an item, we can rate analysis plays an important role. Rate analysis plays an important role in order to calculate per item of work, to work out the actual cost of per unit of an item, to work out the economical use of materials and processing in completion and completing the particular items of works in order to complete a project in a proper directions. This rate analysis plays an important role. Also, for when extra work is to be carried out while executing a work in ongoing work, some extra work it is to be carried out. This rate analysis plays an important role in execute an extra work, okay? Extra item of work to work out the cost of extra item which are not provided in the contract bond but are to be done as per the directions. Yes, and an extra item of work. Okay? The extra cost of an item of work, this rate analysis plays an important role. Okay? Again, to revise the schedule of rates due to increase in the cost of materials and labors or due to a change in the techniques. if there is a provision in order to change depending upon the present scenario, we can have the changes in the materials required. If there is change in the material required, if there is change in tools and plants required, at that time this rate analysis plays an important role. Okay. Again, what are the data required for the analysis of rates? The details of all the operations involved in carrying out the work. What are the starting from the excavations, for excavation up to the floor finishes or painting? What are the different stages in the construction of work? What are the different operations in the construction of work? First, first most thing in rate analysis is nothing but we have to have a flow chart, or we have to have in various operations starting from first to last. What are the different operations carried out in a construction of a project? Okay, the details of all operation involved in carrying out the work. Also, the quantities of materials and their cost. So what are the different materials required and its cost also plays an important role. Okay, the numbers of different categories of labors required, their working capacities and daily wages. Also, we have to find out that daily wages also, and output taken, task work. Okay? So how much output will be taken care by the laborers? How much output will be taken care by the laborers? Okay? So how much it is to be taken care? So this again plays an important role. So this again plays an important role while calculating the cost. Okay? What are the rates of items depends upon, it depends upon specifications, it depends upon specification of particular item of works, that is specification of works and materials, their quantities, proportions and methods of constructional operations. What are the different operations carried out, what are the different quantities, quality works, also materials required for it, again required for its constructions. Again depends upon the quantity of materials, and their cost also plays an important role. Cost of labors and their wages, location of the site of work, whether it is located nearby or whether it is located in outskirts. This location plays an important role. Or is there any overhead charges is there, or is there any overhead or work charge establishment is there? Again, work charge establishment or extra charges to be taken care. Again, what is the profit given, contractors profit or miscellaneous expenses, it is also to be considered in case of while calculating the rate analysis. Okay. Again, analysis of rates, we have to analyze, or first we have to find out the materials required. Again, we have to find out the labors required. Okay. Materials and labors, because these two heads are most important in finding out the rate analysis. Okay. Because material quantities also plays an important role, and the labors required. Okay. So labors and materials plays an important role in finding out the cost of any structures. Okay. So labors and materials. Material cost and labor cost is nothing but the cost of an item of work. Other items includes T&P, that is tools and plants required. So various tools and plants will also be required in construction of project. So tools and plants, it will take only 2 to 3%. Okay? So 2 to 3% of the labor cost will be taken care by the tools and plants. What about the transportation cost? Again, transportation cost, more than 8 kilometers is considered, depending upon the vehicles, or depending upon the cost of vehicles or transportation cost. Again, it is to be considered if it is having more than 8 kilometers. Okay? Work charge establishment or water charges is also important. 1.5 to 2% it is to be taken care by the water charges. Again, contractors profit is also taken care, that is 10% contractors profit will be taken care. Okay. What are the different cost of materials? The cost of materials are taken as delivered at site of work. This is inclusive of the first cost, that is nothing but the cost at origin, cost of transportations, and any taxes. If there is toll tax is there, any transportation taxes there, loading, if there are any local taxes are there. So we have to also consider its original cost. We have to consider its transportation cost, and also we have to consider the taxes required. Okay. Then lead is nothing but the transportation of the one place, the sources, transportation of source from one place to another place. Okay. The distance between the source of availability of materials and construction site, where it is available and where it is utilized. Okay. It is manufactured available, but it is at far distance from the site. So some extra efforts will be taken care in transporting, okay, from where it is dumped and where it is used, where it is dumped and where it is used. So such distance it is measured in horizontal way, okay. So it is referred to as lead. It is the technical word used is as lead. Lead, it is used for horizontal displacement, okay, when where it is dumped and where it is utilized, okay. The distance between the source of availabilities of material and the construction site is known as lead and is expected in kilometers. The cost of conveyance of materials depends on lead. ठीक है? How much is lead? ठीक है? As a previous slide, we have seen 8 kilometers. Or in sites, if it is there may be norms given in as codes. Depending upon this, we have to find out the cost of the transportation also. So this statement is required when a material is transported from a distance more than 8 kilometers. Yes, 8 kilometers. Yes, it is mentioned. When the distance we are traveling, it is more than 8 kilometers. That means we have to pay, or we are extra amount will be required. Okay? Again, what are the cost of labors? The labors can be classified into the following: skilled labors, that is first class labors, second class labors, and unskilled labors. Okay? So labors may be divided in three categories: skilled, that is first class labors, second class labors, and the unskilled labors. Okay? Unskilled labors. So depending upon these categories, the payments will be given to the laborers, okay, laborers, or the cost will be decided depending upon its skill. Okay, so skilled first class laborers, skilled second class laborers, and unskilled laborers. Okay, the labor charges can be obtained from the standard schedule of rates. It can be calculated from the standard schedule of rates. Again, there is in local centers there is a standard schedule of rates are available in every department or a local body. Standard rates are available. So depending upon the cost of labors will be decided. The cost of different labors will be decided. The 30% of the skilled labors provided in the data may be taken as first class, remaining 70% as second class. That means 30% of the skilled labors provided in the data may be taken as the first class, and remaining 70% will be taken as the second class. Okay. Again, contractors profit plays an important role. So 6 to 7% of the total cost will be taken or will be kept aside for the contractor's profit. Okay, it will be kept aside for the contractor's profit. Okay, so 6 to 10% of the total cost will be taken care by the contractor's profit. Again, lump sum, there is some miscellaneous amount to be taken care. There is some extra amount to be kept inside while executing the structures. So miscellaneous amount will be taken care. That amount will be used for unforeseen expenses. Unforeseen expenses. Again, overhead charges will be there. Overhead cost will be taken care. The overhead cost it comes to be 6 to 8%. Okay, so out of the total amount, 6 to 8% will be taken by the overhead cost. Okay, it will be taken by the overhead charges. Okay? These are the indirect expenses incurred during the execution of a project. During execution of project, these are the indirect costs. We cannot predict the cost. Okay? We cannot predict the amount. Okay? So these are taken care in overhead. Overhead. Okay? General overheads is nothing but the establishment. That is nothing but office establishment. There should be a space for office where from where that all the work it is to be executed. The office to be maintained, the office staff to be maintained. Again, establishment of office and office staff. Again, stationery, printing, postage. Again, it requires some amount. Traveling expenses will be required. Telephonic, the conversations or communications require. Telephonic communication will require some amount. Again, rents and taxes, we have to pay some rent, water tax to be paid, land taxes to be paid, municipal taxes to be paid. Again, an amount to be kept aside. Okay, so rent and taxes, again an amount to be kept aside. Again, job overheads, supervision charges, that is salaries of engineers or supervisors, etc. It is to be taken care. Handling of materials, repair, carriers, depreciations of tools and plants. If there is decrease in the amount of tools and plants, there may be decrease day-to-day usage due to depending upon day-to-day usage. There may be decrease depreciation in the cost. Okay? Depreciation in tools and plants. Again, labors required, labor amenities such as labor camps required, labor facilities required, the labor amenities. Again, workers compensations, insurances also plays an important role. Interest on investment and on losses on advances. Okay. So what are the tasks or outturn of an labors? Okay, outturn of labors is also very important. While finding out the rate analysis or using the rate analysis, outturn and of an labors plays an important role. Okay, so task work or outturn plays an important role. The capacity of doing work by an artisan or skilled labor. Okay, skilled labor in the form of quantity of work per day. Okay, when what is the quantity of work which has been carried out per day? So the total quantity of work which has been carried out per day, there is nothing but the task work. Okay? So per day amount of work required. The work per day. The work per day is nothing but the task work. But most important is nothing but the task work carried out by the skilled laborers. Okay? So skilled laborers per day work. Work per day is nothing but the task work or outturn of the laborers. It is also called as the outturn of the labor. The outturn of work per artisan or per skilled laborers varies with situations and locations. It depends upon the work which has been carried out and the location where we are using where it has been utilized. Okay, so in bigger cities where specialized and experienced laborers is available, the outturns is greater than in small towns and countries, because depends upon location, as I already said. Depends upon the locations, where in locations some areas, there may be a skilled laborers, there may be availability of skilled laborers, so that means outturns of the skilled laborers will be more, okay, as compared to the small towns. Okay. It is in well organized work, less labor is required. If well organized work is there, well managed work is there, proper management is there, that means less labors will be required. Less labors will be required. Okay? So here we have seen the rate analysis part. We have seen the analysis. What is the importance of rate analysis? What is the factors affecting rate analysis? Also, we have seen the detailed estimate. Also, we have seen the detailed estimate also. Okay. So in today's lectures or in today's concepts, we have covered the various concepts related with the preliminary estimates. We have seen the approximate estimate, preliminary estimates, various types of preliminary estimates, and what are the importance of the various types of the preliminary or approximate estimates. We have already seen the detailed estimates also in today's lecture. That is a detailed estimate in order to find out the detailed quantity of various items of works. Okay, starting from earthwork in excavations up to the floor finishes, what are the different quantities of materials required and what are the cost incurred. Okay, so what are the different methods for the total quantities we have seen. There are the two most important methods, that is nothing but the center line methods and long wall short wall methods. So we have already discussed about the long wall short wall methods and the center line methods. Also, we have discussed about the modes of measurement. Okay, the modes of measurement also plays an important role. In some quantities, it has been measured in cubic meters or in square meters or in running meters. So again, modes of measurement. Again, next we have seen about the rate analysis. Okay, we have seen the rate analysis because the amount we are calculating, it depends upon the labors required, it depends upon the materials required. Already the quantities which we have calculated, the amount of cement required, sand required, aggregates required, the same to be multiplied with the market rates, the same to be multiplied with the market rates. Okay, so first we have to find out the quantity of materials required, and it is to be multiplied with the rates in order to find out the total cost of structures. Also, we have seen the labors required, the various concepts related with the labors, that is the skilled labors, first class skilled labors, second class skilled labors, or we have seen the unskilled labors also. Okay, the categories of skilled and unskilled labors. Okay, again we have seen the factors affecting rate analysis also. Okay, so in today's lectures we have covered the detailed estimate, preliminary estimate, and some part of the rate analysis. Okay, so in next lectures we will solve the problems related with the detailed estimate also, and we will solve the problems related with the rate analysis also. So next problem or next lectures is again important, because in next lectures we will have the concept regarding the detailed estimate. We will use long wall short wall methods, we will use center line method simultaneously. We will use in next lecture both the methods simultaneously in order to calculate the total cost of its structures. Also, we will find out the quantities of we will have the problems on rate analysis also. Okay, So in next lecture, we will have the concept on detailed estimate and the rate analysis. Okay. So today we will end this lectures. Thank you. If anyone having problems or any queries related with the rate analysis or any queries related with the preliminary or detailed estimates, or the what are the types of problems asked in the exams, or what are the different numericals or objective questions are asked in the exams, so they can have discussions and they can have the discussions with me. Depending upon this, we will find out the we will solve the problems. Okay. So today we will end the lectures. If anyone having doubts related with if anyone having doubts related or queries related with this, they can discuss. They can have comments on this. So thank you. Today we will end this lectures. Thank you.